The next thing Emeka had was twa on the ground. In the presence of neighbors and everyone, Uju turned to her mother-in-law, twa on her face. She saw twinkle, twinkle stars immediately. Emeka started shouting, "My waist oh, my waist oh." Even the lizard that was on the fence fell down in shock. The chickens forgot their mothers. Even the wind paused small because that slap was not ordinary. It was a slap that traveled from village to village before landing. Sit down, relax, and let me gist you how this whole trouble started. In Umoba village, there lived a man called Emeka and his mother Ne. If wickedness was a school, these two were lecturers. If trouble was rain, their house was the roof. Emeka was tall, strong, with eyes that never smiled. He was handsome, but with a bad attitude towards women. His mother Ne, that woman was worse than 7 witches combined. She was short and her mouth was sharp like new razor. Together, mother and son ruled their house like soldiers in enemy land. Emeka married his first wife when he was young. The first wife, Obi, lasted 1 year. She left with only wrapper and her cooking pot. Second wife, Nkem, stayed 6 months. She ran away barefoot with her bag after losing her pregnancy due to stress. The third wife, Amaka, ran away after Emeka locked her in a room for 2 days without food because she went to visit her sick mother without her permission. You see, Emeka and his mother treated wives like rented generators. Morning walk, afternoon walk, night insult, no rest, no love. If the food is sweet, Emeka ate alone. If the food is bad, wife chopped beating. If rain beat roof, Ne blamed the wife. If cock did not crow, it was the wife. If Emeka dreamed bad dream, they accused the wife of witchcraft. One wife was pregnant and they still sent her to river at night. She tripped, fell, and had a miscarriage. Another was sick and they still beat her for burning the pot of rice. Ne used to say, "A wife is like mortar. If you don't beat her, she will not be strong." The whole village was talking. Women would warn their daughters, "If that Emeka comes to your father's compound, run like your wrapper is on fire."
Far away from Umoba was another village, Identa. There lived a lady called Uju. Uju was beautiful, tall like palm tree, eyes like morning sun, shape and curve like calabash full of water that could make a grown man walk into a tree without staring. In her village, men ran when they saw Uju coming. She had beaten 3 men so badly that one of them lost 2 teeth. Another one developed stammering. And the last one? That poor man still shivers when he hears the name Uju. When Uju was angry, she could lift a grown man and throw him like empty sack. She once knocked out a lady who tried to cheat her in the market. 1 punch, the lady nearly turned deaf and dumb. The women in her village would whisper, "That girl has the strength of 10 men. Which man will marry her?" Even her own mother was tired. She would pray every night, "God, find husband for Uju before she wounds somebody permanently." Villagers avoided her. She beats up people at slightest provocation. They call her beauty without a heart. Of course, Uju was very beautiful. But there is something spectacular about Uju. She always fantasized about getting married. She desired it so much. So one day, Uju told her mother she was going to live with her grandmother. Since the men of Identa are avoiding her, she will try men from other villages. "It's not only my village that has men," she muttered. She packed her bag, she kissed her mother goodbye, and went to her grandmother in Umoba. When Uju reached Umoba, her grandmother warned her, "My daughter, men here are not soft." Uju smiled small. She said, "Grandma, leave men for me." The first day she saw Emeka was the day she went to fetch firewood for her grandmother. She got attracted to him. Of course, Emeka was very handsome and tall, just his terrible attitude.
She came back and told her grandmother, who forbid her from having anything to do with Emeka and his mother Ne. She even went ahead to tell her of his history with plenty wives. Uju told her grandmother she can handle both of them. Her grandmother shrugged and didn't even persuade because she knows how difficult Uju can be. Then she began her acting, Oscar Award acting. She became gentle like newborn baby. She spoke softly. She bent her head. She greeted everybody, even the mad woman she greeted. She became friends with Emeka slowly. She followed Emeka's mother to farm. She carried firewood. She washed wrappers. She cooked soup. She fetched water. She even helped old women cross road. Village people said, "This girl is gold," even though they tried to warn her about Emeka and his mother Ne. But inside her heart, Uju was sharpening knife. Not real knife, character knife.
Kindly like this video and subscribe to AdasstoryPot for more interesting stories coming your way. One day, Emeka told his mother he has made up his mind to get married to Uju. Ne smiled. Evil smile. She said, "She looks foolish enough and you have stayed for long without a wife." Emeka informed Uju she too agreed to marry him. Emeka, his friends, and some elders journeyed to Identa village to marry Uju. They paid the bride price, 10 tubers of yam, 2 goats, 3 wrappers, and some money. Uju's people accepted, though some of them were shaking their heads, wondering what Uju was planning. Emeka and his kinsmen returned with Uju. That was when Uju brought out her true color she has been hiding. First week after marriage, Uju cooked and still pretended small. Second week, she resigned. One morning, Enya woke up and looked around the compound. Her goat hasn't been fed. The compound was still covered with dry leaves. Enya was furious. Even there was no food in the pot. Enya shouted, "Uju, where are you? Why is there no food in the kitchen?" Uju replied, her voice no longer soft like cotton, but hard like stone. "Ask restaurant people." Emeka shouted and fumed. "Woman, don't talk to my mother like that. Get up and go and make food." Uju shouted, "Man, if your mother is hungry, let her go and make food. She has hands. She's not even that old." Emeka rose up, fuming with more anger, ready to attack. Uju jumped from her chair, holding a pestle, ready to attack too. Enya stood at a corner, shocked, surprised, and trying to know if it's a dream or reality. The whole house shook, because even the house is surprised to see a woman challenge Emeka and his mother. Wow! From that day, trouble rented room in Emeka's compound. Uju refused to go to the farm. She doesn't cook. Refused washing Emeka and his mother's clothes. She has even gone ahead to get a space in the village market and started a new business. She sold powder, pants, wrappers, hair cream, and other ladies' stuffs. She returned late, focused on only her market business. She locked door. She ate alone. Enya tried her old tricks. She hid the keys to kitchen. Uju locked her room. She poured water on Uju's goods. Uju poured water on her bed. She insulted Uju. Uju insulted her ancestors with full list. She pushed Uju. Uju pushed back with interest. One fateful day, Uju came back from the market early. She wanted to rest. She barely laid down when Emeka and his mother started shouting outside. "Where is that useless woman? Good-for-nothing woman who does nothing in this house," Emeka said. Enya added, "Useless girl who wants to turn my only son to a slave." Uju stormed outside to find out what was happening. Uju came outside the hut and asked, "Emeka, why are you and your mother shouting this quiet evening, disturbing the whole village?" Enya charged at Uju and slapped her. "Hey, what?" That was how the beast in Uju was unleashed. Neighbors started to gather small. Next thing Emeka heard was "twa" on the ground in the presence of neighbors and
everyone, Uju has lifted huge Emeka and sent him crashing to the ground. Emeka started shouting, "My waist oh, my waist oh, she has killed me." Uju turned to her mother-in-law Nne, tawa on her face. A slap hot enough to make a boiling brain turn ice block immediately. Nne staggered and saw twinkle twinkle stars immediately. Village people gathered. Everyone was whispering and smiling mockingly. Very good for Emeka. He deserves it. They have met their match. Emeka lay down on the ground. Shame covered him with plantain leaves. When villagers started leaving small, he managed to crawl inside his hut. How the hunter became the hunted. Emeka barely left his house. Villagers laughed at him when he walked past. He was so ashamed of himself. Emeka lay on his mat that night thinking. His body was in pain, yes, but his mind was even in more pains. He thought about his 3 ex-wives. He remembered everything that happened while growing up. How his wicked father turned his mom to a punching bag. And somewhere, somehow, young Emeka had learned that this was normal, that this was what men did, that this was what marriage looked like. His mother, Nne, she had suffered so much from her husband that when he died, she thought, now it's my turn. Now I will get my revenge on all these young girls who marry my son. They will feel what I felt.
The next morning, Uju woke up and prepared to go to the market as usual. She expected another fight, another argument, another drama. But when she came out, she found Emeka sitting outside, looking tired and older than he had ever looked before. "Uju," he called out softly. She stopped, suspicious. "What?" I want to apologize." Uju nearly dropped her basket. "You want to what?" "I'm sorry for everything. You are right. I treated you badly. I treated all my wives badly. And I'm sorry." Uju stared at him for a long moment, trying to see if this was a trick. But in Emeka's eyes, she saw something she had never seen before. Genuine remorse. "I learned it from my father," Emeka continued, his voice breaking. "I watched him beat my mother, humiliate her, treat her like she was nothing. And I thought that's what men do. But you showed me," he touched his scratched face, "you showed me that no one should be treated like that, man or woman." From inside the house, they heard Nne crying. Nne had been listening. She came out, her eyes red and swollen. "I'm sorry too," she said, her voice small. "I was wicked because I was wicked too. I wanted revenge for all the years I suffered. But," she looked at Uju with something like respect, "you are not the one who hurt me. My husband hurt me, and I've been hurting innocent girls because of it." Uju stood there, her basket still in her hand, not quite sure what to make of this dramatic turn of events. "So what now? You people think one sorry will fix everything?" "No," Emeka said, standing up. "I know sorry is not enough, but I want to change. I want to learn. Teach me how to be a better husband." You won't believe what happened next. Slowly, very slowly, like a stubborn yam learning to grow, Emeka changed. He started cooking his own meals. At first, his rice was hard like stones and his soup tasted like he had boiled grass, but he kept trying. He started helping with fetching water, doing his own chores, treating Uju like a partner instead of a servant. When Uju came back from the market, instead of demanding food, he would ask, "How was your day? Did you sell well?" He even started helping her arrange her goods, carrying her heavy basket, supporting her business instead of seeing it as a threat. Nne too changed. She started treating Uju with respect, even asking for her advice on things. One day, Nne actually apologized to all the women in the village whose daughters had run away from her house. Can you imagine? The whole village nearly fainted from shock. She sent messages to Obi, Nkem, and Amaka, begging for their forgiveness. Some of them forgave her, some didn't. As for Uju, well, once she saw that Emeka and Nne were genuinely changing, she softened too. Not too much, oh. She was still not that pretend soft girl from before, but she became fair. She started cooking again, but only when she wanted to, not because someone forced her.
She would help in the house, but Emeka and Nne had to help too. She even started greeting Nne respectfully again, but Nne had to greet her back with the same respect. The house became peaceful. Not the false peace of a prison where everyone is too scared to speak, but real peace where people actually respected each other. Word spread throughout Umoba and even to the neighboring villages. People couldn't believe it. Emeka, the wife chaser, has changed. Nne, the wicked mother-in-law, has changed because of Uju. They started calling Uju the warrior wife. Young girls would come to her asking, "Sister Uju, how did you do it? How did you tame those two wicked people?" And Uju would smile and say, "I didn't tame them. I just refused to be tamed myself. I showed them that I'm a human being, not a punching bag." Uju was calmer with rapper. And that slap, it is still echoing in Umoba till today. Twa! Join Adasstorypot channel. We have a lot of interesting stories in stock for you.